So today marks 1 year since I started taking a GLP-1 medication. And if you're just hearing this information and it makes you feel judgmental towards me or other people who take these medications, I actually made a video about a year ago when I started talking about why I chose to get on this medication and just in general the morality we put around weight loss and weight in general. So if this is bringing up a lot of feelings for you, I suggest watching that video first before you continue on with this video. But just to sum it up, basically what happened was a couple of years ago, I gained 40 pounds over the course of about 2 years. It was really surprising to me. I didn't feel like I had drastically changed anything in my life. And I even went to the doctor. I was trying to figure out if there was something wrong. And when I went to the doctor, she couldn't find anything different. And what she told me was, she said, with this weight gain, you actually are in the obese category. I've never been obese in my life, and I just thought, this is not somewhere where I want to be. I'm going to start aging, and as we age, typically women, we gain weight, and so I was just like, this is not, there's a lot of health risks associated with being obese, and I just thought, this is not a good place for me to start. And I tried a couple of different things, was not successful, and I did eventually decide to start a GLP-1. So I started it last year on April 9th, and this year on April 9th, I have since lost 35 pounds. And my goal originally was I wanted to lose the 40 pounds that I had gained, and so I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm within a normal range for me, but I just wanted to talk about kind of my experience in the last year, some of the lessons I learned, and how it has affected me. So first of all is side effects, and I am somebody who did experience side effects. Typically what I would experience would be diarrhea. I would say I lost the bulk of my weight maybe within like the first 6 months, and then I slowly lost like an additional 10 pounds over the last 6 months. And so for me, I decided to stay on the lowest dose. I was happy with the amount of weight I was losing, and I felt like the side effects were more manageable the lower the medicine was, while still giving me the effects that I needed to live a healthy lifestyle. But I do sometimes experience side effects, and most often what happens is I can always time it. It's always day 2 after I've taken the shot, and it's typically when something has been off. Maybe I started a new bottle of medication, or I tried to change my dose or something like that. I'm also really sensitive at those beginning days with eating consistently. If I, miss lunch, or I have a late lunch, or don't eat breakfast or something, then when I've just taken the shot and the medicine's highest in my system, then I can get quite sick where I have diarrhea, and it's hard for me to get out of bed. But the interesting thing is, because it's medicine and slowly over time it's decreasing the amount in your body, it always goes away. It's not like it's stomach bug or something, right? Eventually it will go away. And I have found from my experience with others in my family who've taken the medication that it's, especially when you're a woman, it's very consistent to like how your morning sickness was. For me, I had terrible morning sickness with all 5 of my kids. And I found that when I took the drug, it was a very similar experience. And so some of my sisters who didn't have bad morning sickness, they haven't had any of the same issues that I have had. And I think sometimes when people hear about the side effects, they feel like it's enough to get them to not want to do it. But I feel like it is completely worth it. And let me explain why. First of all, it just made eating healthy so manageable. I just remember before when I would see these cool meal plans people would do where they're, eating healthy 3 meals a day, and I would just try to follow something like that, and it was just so impossible. And finally, with this medication, one of the things it does is it helps your brain not think about food so much. And it was actually possible to eat 3 healthy meals a day without like constantly feeling like, oh, when am I going to eat something sugary? And just always looking for your next sugar fix. It was just so freeing to feel like, hey, I don't have to go around thinking about food 24/7. And I'm not saying like you're never eating food, but I'm just saying it used to be for me, the second I woke up until the second I went to bed, I was thinking about food, and I was thinking usually about sugary food. And your whole life, 24 hours of your day, was trying to resist. And it was just a really difficult way to live, where you felt like, sure, you might make some healthy choices, but always at some point during the day, there was something that you couldn't resist. The other thing that I really struggled with before I started the medication was just feeling full. Like I would eat a great healthy breakfast and I would still be hungry afterwards. So it just felt like this constant hunger that I had. And so it made it really difficult for me to eat healthy because I was never satisfied. And I personally did a lot of work with emotional eating before I started all of this and all of those things. And at least in my mind and in my experience, I feel like there's some kind of mechanism in our brain, and mine does not work correctly. And I think for a lot of people besides just me, it doesn't work correctly. I think there's probably more research that can be done to figure out what exactly is going on. But this medication has been so helpful to help me actually make healthy choices. The other thing I want to say is that I don't feel like I lost the weight from starving myself. I eat 3 meals a day, and I still have plenty of treats and all kinds of things, but I'm just eating way healthier portions than I used to. And I think sometimes people wonder, well, if you get on the medication, are you ever going to be able to get off? And I think at the beginning, that was kind of my thought process was, I wanted to lose the 40 pounds and then not be on the medication. But the thing that has been so helpful has been just feeling like I didn't have to give all of this emotional energy to trying to stop myself from having these sugary foods, stop myself from eating 24/7. And you just think, if there is a medication out there that can help you live a healthy lifestyle, like I said, I'm still overweight, technically, for my height. But I'm able to control myself around food so much more. And so I'm really grateful for this medication. So lastly, I just wanted to touch on how it has changed my relationship with self-improvement since I've lost this weight. Sometimes you hear people say like, oh, I lost all this weight and I have so much more energy. I wouldn't say that has really changed for me. I feel like even before I lost weight, I was a pretty active person. I love walking and I regularly lift weights, and I've been doing that a lot of my adult life. And so I don't feel like crazy change in energy for myself personally. But the biggest difference has been my self-improvement energy, because this was a problem that just consumed so much of my life and so much of my time and so much of my mental energy. Every day trying to avoid things, every day trying to tell myself to stop, every day fighting this inner battle about, should I eat it, should I not? I really want it, but I can't have it. And it just completely took those battles off the table. And I feel like because of that, I've been able to grow so much more as a person. Because finally, I have this completely freed up mental energy where I can work on other things I've always wanted to work on. I've been reading more books. I've been thinking more about parenting. I've been trying different things with self-improvement. All of these things because I finally have the resources, the mental space to actually work on this stuff rather than worrying about what I'm eating all of the time. But partly I just wanted to make this video because I like to be transparent. I don't want to pretend like I'm not taking a drug, but also I don't feel like it's something we should be proud of or not proud of. So much of our weight is completely out of our control. And in our society, we've turned it into this moral battle about you can lose weight, but you can only lose weight the right way. And people who are thin are better than people who are heavier. And really the truth is, the way you look is the least interesting thing about you. And so I actually don't like it when I get comments from people who notice my weight loss, because I feel like it kind of sends this signal like the way I looked before wasn't good enough for people. And personally, I didn't start this journey because I was trying to look different. I did it because I was trying to get to a healthier weight. I was doing it for my health. And so I think we can be more compassionate towards people who are making different choices, trying to find solutions to problems that they have in their lives. And I just know I'm really grateful to live in this time where we have these kind of tools. We have things that can help us with our health. And I'm so grateful for the mental space it's created so I can work on other things. I was talking to my sister and we were talking about how wonderful it was at New Year's to finally not have a New Year's resolution about losing weight. And it's not like I'm perfect. It's not like I weigh the perfect amount. It's not like my body looks perfect. It's not like I eat perfectly healthy. But in all honesty, a lot of people who are a normal weight, they also don't worry about those things. So it's nice to have a medication that can kind of take some things off the table and allow you to work on other things in your life and stop worrying so much about how you look. So sometimes when it comes to self-improvement, I think it's important to look at all of your options and to see that maybe the solution is not as difficult as you might have decided in your head it was supposed to be. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next week.